Nationally syndicated radio host Dana Loesch is here. All right, Dana, so he blames his wife. My wife told me to take the picture. It wasn't my idea.
Oh my gosh, Lord put a hand over my mouth. Where do I start with this? First off, the last thing, Jesse, that last clip that you played where he's like, normally the FBI director isn't buddy-buddy with the president. Normally the FBI director doesn't leak stuff to the press. Normally the FBI director doesn't irresponsibly, retain information, handle information, leak information to the press and start and engage and facilitate and look the other way for witch hunts. So we can have a whole other discussion about that. Number two, it's creepy because it's a call for an assassination. I mean, I don't care what people say. I worked as a server all throughout college. 86 means it's killed off the menu. I don't care how it started. That is the parlance of our time, and it also has a lot of criminal connotations. So everyone can spare me the protestations about the top cop formerly in the land not understanding common slang that's also associated with his job. But Jesse, how creepy is it for a grown man that's old enough to be my dad to walk around outside and arrange shells like an Instagram influencer on the beach because he's so obsessed, like a bunny boiler, with Trump? It's weird, it's emasculating, and golly, he's got to get over it.
Men should never make seashell art and never post it on Instagram, ever. And then never blame their wife for it when they get in trouble. I mean, that is the craziest thing I've ever seen. He still told that host that he thinks the 8647's clever.
Oh, clever. Maybe to him, but not to everyone else. I mean, I first saw that without any kind of context, and I thought, that's not good. Let's remind everyone that we had 2 assassination attempts on this president in the span of weeks, 2 assassination attempts. This is after an attempted assassination on a Supreme Court justice after Chuck Schumer was on the steps of the Supreme Court saying that a storm was coming for Kavanaugh. And then, of course, we can't forget the attempted assassination on a whole field of congressional Republicans that were practicing for a ball game. And had Steve Scalise's security not be there, we'd have dead Congress members. So I guess James Comey didn't remember any of that.
Programming note, we sent Johnny up to a book signing with Director Comey here in New York, and we may have some of that tomorrow if Johnny gets lucky. The cancer diagnosis, the timing is crazy. How do you figure this went down?
I think the timing is weird, and I think that people can have compassion and also ask legitimate questions about the timing and what they knew and who was making the decisions in the White House when former President Biden was undergoing treatment, which there's no way. Everybody knows this. It's silly to gaslight the American people and act like this was just a surprise diagnosis. That's not how this works. But I also want to add that Joe Biden is receiving more courtesy and more grace than he has ever shown anyone else. 2 words, Curtis Dunn. This was a man that Joe Biden has smeared for 40 years as a drunk driver, intimating that he killed his wife. And for people who may not remember or know the story, Biden's first wife was tragically killed in a car accident. She reportedly ran a stop sign, ran into a truck, and it cost her life and the life of her toddler. And it's incredibly tragic and sad, and there's lots of stories like this. But what is unusual, Jesse, is that then Joe Biden was saying that Curtis Dunn, quote unquote, drank his lunch and was suggesting that he was drunk, and as a drunk driver, that's what caused the wreck. The family asked for a retraction and an apology and demanded that he stop doing it. And he never did. So spare me again all the protestations. We have had grace and compassion. But I'm going to tell you what, this isn't a barista job. This is the highest office in the land. And by God, we have every right to ask what is going on. And if people don't like that, then don't run for the highest office in the land. That goes with the territory.
Not just ask, demand to know. And we will get those answers.
Yes.
Dana Loesch, great to see you as always. Thank you. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.